everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Salty. He's sweet.
And he's salty.
I am. Okay. Today we'll be discussing 3 video games. BioShock Infinite, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Metal Gear Solid. Not the series itself, just the first one. So, start off. We're going to start with Metal Gear Solid. In terms of the gameplay, how would you feel that it, would you feel like it changed the gameplay at all?
I beg your pardon?
Would you say that this game has had an impact on gaming history?
Oh, definitely. The way the director decided to go about it, it changed the cinematics of games for the PlayStation. It was a great, big old step for people that are making games in that time period, because more than anything, it was like watching a movie with some gameplay in between.
Oh my god, yeah, if those cutscenes in that game are insane. Okay.
Such big reveals, such detailed backstories for each character. It was pretty good.
Yeah. In the game itself, what would you say was your favorite challenge in the game?
Oh, my favorite challenge from Metal Gear Solid. Golly. Oh man, I think definitely the main point of the game would be the espionage factor. Trying to sneak around without being seen. Because typically when people are given a game that says, hey, there are bad guys, there's a gun, they just go wild and shoot everyone. But the point of this game is to make it through without setting off any alarms or killing anyone, really. So yeah.
I would say my favorite challenge in the game, and it's not, mine was just a specific part of the game itself, was the sniper mission that you do.
Oh yeah, Sniper Wolf.
Yeah. Very, very hard to do unless you have the pills that, what are they? The benzonine or something?
Diazepam, I think.
Diazepam. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anyway, Pan. It's a drug, you take it and it makes you less shaky. But it's very hard to kill a sniper without it. Okay. What would be your favorite aspect of the game? I think I might have already answered that with...
Favorite aspect of the game? Well, I guess that would cover, graphics, gameplay, or story. Between those three, oh man, it's so hard to pick between story and gameplay, because I really liked how it felt, but compared to the next few in the series, it wasn't that good. So I'd definitely say story, because it's a really good jumping off point for... It introduces a lot of tools for the developers to work with to make more story, which they did.
Honestly, if I were looking at it from a PlayStation 1 standpoint, I would say that I enjoyed the gameplay most. Because it changed how a lot of things were done, especially in, let's just say the, what is that? Psycho Mantis. Whenever you fight Psycho Mantis.
Oh man, the Psycho Mantis. That was, yes.
The pure fact that you had to switch game ports, or controller ports in the game to win the mission.
Such a big deal at the time.
Was insane.
Yes.
And I cannot tell you how many hours I spent there just, oh my god, why can I do this?
Yeah.
Alright, we all know that in this game there are a lot of cutscenes, and a lot of dramatic moments, and a lot of things that happen. What would you say was your favorite cutscene or favorite point in the game?
Oh golly, I guess that it would be when Sniper Wolf dies, and Otacon and Snake have that big discussion about love blooming on the battlefield. It's a really deep moment, and because Otacon, a nerd, fell in love with this Russian sniper lady, and they shared something, and then she just died, and that was pretty tragic. A lot of character growth on Otacon's part.
Okay. She fell in love with her, and then she died. Okay.
Tragic.
No, yeah. The fact that Snake shot her in the face. Anyway, I would say that my favorite moment the whole entire game was the, what was it? It was the, it was whenever, I can't remember the guy's exact name, but Gray Fox. The robot ninja.
His name is Gray Fox.
Well, yeah, I know, but his name.
Frankie Yeager.
Yes. Whenever he died, whenever he was killed by Liquid, that was one of the saddest moments of the game for me. That was
he
my.
saved Snake's life.
Oh, he did. He saved the day.
Then he died.
He got stepped on. It wasn't good on his part, but he died and he got and he exploded. And it wasn't good. But he lived. He lived. And later Solid lived too.
Originally, the director Hideo Kojima, he wanted to whenever you die, you can't play the game again.
You can't.
You have to buy a new copy. Which is why they're really stressing the espionage factor, which I guess is why he wanted to do that. Like, you can't get caught, or you will not be able to play anymore. Yeah.
I understand what he was doing there.
Yeah. Just stress the importance of it.
Well, stress the importance of it, but if you do that, you think about all the people that you would piss off.
Oh, so many.
That you would make mad because you did that.
Yeah, but it's revolutionary.
Okay, well,
you know how many people got so mad by switching the controller ports?
Well, yeah, that's one thing. You don't have to pay $60 to change a controller port.
At the time, I think $60.
Yeah, it's $60 for a video game. If you lose in that video game, you have to pay an additional $60 to get it back.
Then talk to your friends like, "Hey, dude, I lost. What'd you do?" "Oh, you just do this." "Oh man, I should have been expressing espionage."
Anyway. Okay,
Shall we? I'm sorry.
Oh, in the game itself, what would you say some aspects of the game that you feel could have been improved?
At the time or currently?
At the time.
Okay, well, at the time, I believe some of the map structure could have been better because it's very, very linear. Like, once you get to this point, there's nothing to do back here. Like, you have to just keep moving forward. There's nothing to do back here. They try to do it when you have to do the big backtracking to go back and get the sniper rifle, but it's not very well executed because it's just so finicky and repetitive.
Honestly, out of everything that I could choose to change in the game, it'd be the dialogue.
The dialogue?
The dialogue. Not all the dialogue. Some of it's really, really good. Some of it's really, really deep. But there are some points in the game where someone just keeps on talking and talking and talking. They explain how cancer works in this game for no reason.
Well,
I mean, it makes sense. Oh, he's smoking cigarettes, but it's just like, who randomly goes into like? It's normally this is bad for you. She goes and tells him every single aspect of why it's bad for him, and I understand the reasoning behind it. But I feel like they took it a little bit far in some places, not just the cancer.
It goes back to the same aspect of they introduce these tools and they work with them. It's one of the main reasons I don't like exposition in the story because it lasts for so long and everyone's bored by the end of it and they only picked up half of it. You have to make the rest of the story really interesting to make them want to go back and redo the exposition.
Let's go for a rating here. Out of 10, what would you say you would rate this game?
Easily a 7 or an 8 because it's one of my favorite series of the 2 or 3 that I've played, and it's meant so much to so many people, and it got me started on the espionage genre.
From my standpoint,
having played many video games.
Yeah, having played many video games and then going back to PlayStation 1 and playing this, I would say it kept my attention, which after playing so many games that throw so many details and have such awesome gameplay, this game held my attention and kept me through the whole entire time. So I would say maybe that's 8.5. Probably good rating for it. Especially with the story, though a lot of it's just kind of chucked at you, just like, this happened, you didn't see it happen, but this happened. But I really enjoyed the game. It was fun. It was decent. Yes. Anyway, second game.
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yes, this is a sore point.
Zack and I sorely disagree on this topic.
Okay. First off, and I might change these questions just a little bit. Favorite challenge in the game? What would you say was your favorite favorite thing about the game itself?
Well, continuing right off of Metal Gear Solid, it would be the espionage, because I like being able to just blend in with a group of people, stab someone in the neck, and keep walking without them knowing it was me. It's really cool, and I like that in the Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah, I like that. I enjoy it in the series as well, but it feels like they took that away in Brotherhood. Yes, you can still run around, you can still stab people,
You can
but they
steal from people
Yes.
like it's nobody's business.
Yes, I understand that, and you could do that in 2. But in Brotherhood, what they took away from it was the fact that you are the killer. You are the person who is sent after this army of people to pick out one man, and it was you and you alone. In Brotherhood, they changed that by adding on all of your little followers that you can have with you. And I feel like it took away from the fact that, like, yeah, you were this guy. You were this awesome solo assassin who could take on the world and still survive from it. Honestly, I'd say, getting back to where we were, my favorite aspect of it,
That's a later question.
well, my favorite challenge in the game. Whatever. I would say probably. Maybe whenever you have to go rescue that girl that you. In the beginning of the game, you fight, or you're at Mario's house.
Oh, you mean the very first mission?
The very first mission of the game. That would probably be my favorite part, because you're left out, you don't have any armor, and you have to go up against all these people by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite part, or favorite challenge mission.
Alright.
Favorite aspect of the game. What would be your favorite thing?
Favorite aspect, again, going back to the graphics, gameplay, story. The story, I admit, wasn't as good as, or well developed as some of the others. After playing that, I went back, forward and backward, and played the others. The story could definitely be better. The gameplay, I really liked it because it was my first taste of the Assassin's Creed world, and press X to kill. I liked that a lot. And the other one was the graphics. It's what I've come to expect from modern day Xbox and 360, and it doesn't really stick out much to me, but otherwise, I'd say that the gameplay was my favorite part.
I would say that it did well. The only the aspect, like, in terms of gameplay, I think the only thing they really improved on in Brotherhood was
The counter kill?
no, the counter kill was in Assassin's Creed 2. The chain kill.
Oh, yeah.
But that also comes as a disadvantage too. I mean, I understand that, yes, you are this awesome assassin. Yes, you should be able to go out and kill a lot of people and just do whatever you want. In Assassin's Creed 2, you had the counter kill, which is basically you dodge something, and whenever they dodge it, you kill them. But with that, you feel like you're turtling. You're just kind of like, you're waiting for someone to come at you. In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, they kind of put you on the offensive, which was good. But
You're less the lone assassin and more the one-man army.
yes,
Yeah.
that's when they kind of changed it a little bit. They made you almost invincible, which I like vulnerability. Vulnerability is what makes a character who they are.
I understand.
Favorite. Oh, my favorite aspect of the game. I said the counter kill, right? Those. Or was this-
Between aspect would be gameplay, graphics, story.
Oh, probably gameplay. I've always enjoyed the Assassin's Creed, the free running. It did feel like they fell short a little bit in terms of like the levels of the free running, but we'll come to that later. Favorite cutscene or story arc in the game itself?
Oh, golly, there's so many. I definitely... I hate to seem melodramatic and like a romantic, but I really like the Christina missions, where you go back in time and play as Ezio falling in love with this girl, and then having her tragically die. Oh man, that's twice I've mentioned a tragic love story
Yeah, you know.
where someone dies.
Well, that's to each his own. Everyone has their favorite thing. That's why I'm always kind of like, it sounds bad, I'm kind of like the revenge guy. Like,
Oh yes, definitely.
you mess me up, I'm going to go back and mess you up.
Hardcore.
Oh yeah, hardcore parkour.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Parkour.
And that's what Assassin's Creed 2 was built around. Assassin's Creed,
The parkour.
no, not the parkour, the revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
oh, yeah.
it was parkour
Yeah.
also, but it didn't seem like there was any feeling in what you were doing in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It didn't seem like there was much.
You have to take out
Growth.
Cesare.
Well, yeah, you have to take out Cesare Borgia, but there's nothing. They have Mario dies.
His crime is
And-
being a Templar.
Well, not exactly that. He did sleep with his sister and all that stuff. But whatever.
His crime is being a Templar.
Along with a lot of other things, he murdered people.
Mostly being a Templar.
For the assassins, yes, mostly being a Templar. But from the point where your uncle dies to you killing Jezreel, there's no growth. It's just
It
like
seems
this.
like an episode in a story. And
Well-
less like a story arc.
Well, even so, it doesn't. There, like even in an episode, like let's say an episode of Teen Titans, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it goes
Yeah, but
like this.
they do have some certain episodes that provide growth for others, and this is just one of those filler episodes, is what you're saying.
Essentially, there was no growth. There's no point. There's no escalating tension. It's just, oh, I killed that guy. Oh, I killed that guy. Oh, I killed that. Oh, I had my friends kill that guy.
Hey, you
That's-
chain killed these 300 people.
Yeah, basically, and it didn't seem like it grew at all, and it's kind of something that fell flat for me in Brotherhood.
I think it's a good first game because you don't have to focus on so much deep full story.
Well, that's the thing that draws me into a game. That's one of the reasons why I don't really care for Call of Duty.
Well, after 2, you were pretty well entrenched, so you were saying, oh, this one will be pretty good, I guess, maybe.
Well, it's not. I think it's like starting a story. Whenever you start a story, you have to have a hook. You have to have something that will pull the reader in. And for Brotherhood, for a starting game, I don't think it has that. It has the gameplay, I'll admit, but in terms of story, the thing that me as a gamer, that's what I look for. I look for story. If it has an awesome story, I will typically be there.
Well, what hooks you into Brotherhood is these cool new features of chain killing.
Well, yeah, but if you're new to the game itself, that's not new to you. That's just something that you're introduced to. It is new to you, but it's not new to the game itself.
I understand.
At the time, how would you improve? What would you say needs to be improved in Assassin's Creed?
Golly, that's a great question. Why don't you tell me what you think first?
What I think? Okay. Honestly, I think that it needs a pretty good makeover. Yes, they have the chain kill and they put in the buddy system, but they didn't. In terms of the layout, I understand that yes, this is supposed to be Rome back in that time period, but Rome doesn't have a lot of levels to it.
It is just one big area for the entire game, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's the fact. Okay, in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you go to Florence, Italy, and there are buildings that are of varying height, and it keeps it exciting. It's not just flat the whole entire time. You don't spend half the time running. You spend half the time climbing, jumping, swinging, doing a lot of parkour stuff. And I feel like them giving you this environment that's so flat and two-dimensional that you don't have
It's
the ability.
faster.
Well, it's faster, but you don't have the ability to That's what makes Assassin's Creed is the parkour.
Yeah, but you need to get from point A to point B
Well,
quickly
yes,
because
but
you have certain missions.
they also made a fast travel system to do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's more exciting to get somewhere, going over a building, swing or off a plant, and going through a tunnel instead of just running in a straight line.
I'd actually disagree because there were some points in that game where you definitely had to take this certain specific path to get to this certain place on time. And it was very finicky. You had to jump way over here to go under here and go up there and then around, and it was pretty difficult.
Well, yeah, but that's whenever they make those specific tracks like that. For that, like, okay, if you're doing like a race mission in the game, they do it. They set certain points where they're supposed to go through, and they put them in strategic places so it'll be harder for you to get through it.
So I think your problem is it's more of a choice of where to go.
Yeah, well, I feel like with the environment that they chose, the parkour that is in the game is wasted. It just feels like running.
There's not enough.
There's not enough to run on.
Yeah.
My second thing would be the story itself, like I've talked about. It didn't seem like there was any growth in it. Thirdly, I would get rid of the buddy system. Completely and totally get rid of the, oh, assassins, come down from the heavens and save me. Because that is not how...
it should be more of a last resort than a tool at your disposal.
Yeah, and it's...
It should have some kind of detriment to it also.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do this, bring them in at a story arc. Don't bring them in at some random... Like, don't let the player be in control of that.
Yeah.
Like, if, let's say that Ezio surrounded...
They should be able to save you without you expecting it.
Yes. That's what I like. And I like story arc, but I don't like having control of it. I mean, to a point, that's probably a bad way of putting it. I just don't like having, like, I feel like the assassin buddy system that they put in there just felt like they just took the game and they just kind of threw it away. They just made it too easy for the player. And it's a hate-love relationship with me and the chain kill system.
Right. What I would change would be the story, actually. Because now that you've made all these points, I really agree that there's nothing really that I remember about it. It's just, hey, you're in Rome, kill Cesare.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that game.
Alright, if you were to give it a rating, what would you give?
Well, having discussed what we did, it's still my favorite because it's the first one I've played, but it's definitely not the best. So I'd give it a 5 or a 6.
Okay, for me, comparing it to the other games itself, I would give it maybe a... my rating, I would say probably give it like a 4 or 5. Just comparing it to the other games.
Alrighty, well, it's been great sitting here discussing these 2 great games with you. And I'll see you next time on Sweet and Salty.
Yeah. Sadly, we'll not be able to get to our last game.